Hey, beautiful people. It's your girl Rocqi from the It's So Real podcast here with you today on Rocqi's Reactions. Make sure words. Make sure you subscribe to the It's So Real podcast YouTube channel. Check out all of our podcast video clips as well as our full podcast videos out. Our playlists are all available on our homepage, so please check that out, as well as the playlist for Rocqi's Reactions, where you can see more of my live reactions to videos. And the video today will be featured in the description box below. What else? Subscribe. Click that notification bell so you know when I go live. And I will be doing more of this content, women, men, dating, relationships. So skedaddle over to Life is Rocqi. Remember, that's ROCQI. My personal YouTube channel, where I will be doing a Becoming a Feminine Woman series. So definitely check that out and subscribe and click that notification bell over there so you know when I premiere new content in that series. Today's reaction video is going to be to The Roommates, which is another consistently watched YouTube channel in our household. And their video is going to be Women Today Are No Longer Marriageable. Ooh, spicy. You know I love doing these spicy videos, right? All right, y'all. So I'm going to play this video and we'll see what happens. You ready? Hello, viewer.
The biggest things I've noticed is that women clearly understand that they have standards for men that most men don't meet. But what they always fail to reach.
So I'm going to just stop it right there. So I will be discussing my standards and my core values that I use to choose my man over on my Life is Rocqi YouTube channel in the Becoming a Feminine Woman series. However, I am well aware that my standards are like who a person is, how they treat other people, what I need in a healthy relationship, and not every woman has standards like that. So I will go in depth. And if you watch the podcast, I've went through my standards plenty of times, so you should be well aware. But for those who are new, please subscribe. And then, I will be talking about it on Life is Rocqi YouTube channel.
Realize is that men have standards as well for women.
Yes.
And unfortunately, women don't meet these standards.
If men aren't meeting our standards, then it's safe to say, yes, women aren't meeting our standards.
Yo, what's good, everybody? This is Hafiz, and
y'all gonna be single out here? What's happening?
Woo, you guys saw the title. Today's video is a very, very serious topic, a very, very serious message, and something that's been weighing heavily on my heart for the past couple of days. So ladies, if you're going to be watching today's video, all I ask is that you watch it till the very end, because if not, you're going to get triggered. You're going to misunderstand the message, because this is something that is so important for every man and woman to understand. And today's message is this: women today are no longer marriageable. If you're new to this channel, the goal of The Roommates is to help every single man become the best version of himself, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. And oh my goodness, this past couple of weeks, so many guys have been sending me the receipts, sending me their progress reports about how they've been improving their lives. So many guys are getting in the gym. So many guys are going to counseling. So many guys are getting their money right, growing spiritually, tapping into their masculinity. So many guys are improving themselves. And I cannot even tell you how many messages I've read today alone from guys sharing me how much they're drastically transforming their lives. They're becoming ambitious. They're becoming assertive. They're becoming confident. They're becoming competent. They're having purpose. It is such a beautiful sight to see. And then I got a message from a young man who's been following this content for quite a while, and he said, Hafiz, I've been putting in the work. I've been doing everything that you've asked of me to become the best version of myself so I can be a better man, a better father, in the future and a better husband. But what I've realized is as I'm going out attempting to meet women, women today are not putting in the work. Women today are not meeting my standards, and it wasn't even crazy standards. It was simple things that we'll talk about later on in this video.
Ah! It's an ad. All right, hold up. I mean, get your money, roommates. Get your money. Is it going back up? Okay. So if you don't know, I am in a committed life partnership with Oso, my co-host on It's a Real Podcast. Subscribe. And yeah, he would often talk to me about how he, like when he was young, when he was a boy, he wanted to be a good husband. He wanted to be a good father, and what he was doing in order to make that be a reality, what he was working on himself in order to become. And I didn't. To the point that one of my exes actually pointed it out. He was like, I wake up every day and think about how I can make you happy, which is a little redundant as this was the man who leaked my pictures. So obviously you weren't thinking that too hard. But anyways, but he asked me, did I think about that with him? Now, mind you, I wasn't in love with him, but I was like, no, I don't think about that at all. And so it is a question, ladies. Like, do you think about how to be a good wife, how to be a good partner, and what all that entails? And not necessarily who you want to be as a wife, which I will again discuss on Becoming a Feminine Woman series on my Life is Rocqi YouTube channel. But it's also, what does your husband want in a wife? Because that is essentially, like, it's your relationship. That's essentially whose opinion kind of matters, you know? Let's continue.
Tell you that was a one-off thing. I get so many messages like that from guys who, after they're putting in work, or the ones who have already put in the work, telling me that they cannot find good quality women. And one of the biggest things I've noticed is that women clearly understand that they have standards for men that most men don't meet. But what they always fail to realize is that men have standards as well for women. And unfortunately, women don't meet these standards. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So let's talk about 5 reasons that women today are not marriageable according to men's standards. And reason number 1, there's too many single mothers. So here's an interesting thing.
Whoa. See, for me, I never understood the lack of accountability on the part of women. Like, I constantly see single mothers blaming the child's father for them being a single mother and for them lacking support. And I'm like, you see, I didn't want to have children with any of the men I was sexually active with, so I didn't. It's kind of simple, you know, protection. If I were to get pregnant, there are ways. Like, I'm not about to have a child with somebody I don't want to co-parent with, that I didn't choose intentionally prior to conception. So, you know, I won't even say close your legs. I would say be intentional about bringing life into this world and who you're bringing life into this world with. Yeah. And like, there was a smooth decade that I was like, if a guy has a child, I'm not interested. So if men have that same standard, a lot of y'all ladies gonna be ass out, because like, raising somebody else's child, like, one, I not only have to bond and connect and be compatible and stuff with you, I also got to get along with your child. And then I'm coming into a parenting role. How does that work co-parenting wise? How does that work with the child? Because the child don't know me either. Like, it's complicated. It can be done, yes, but it's complicated. So if I had a preference, I would prefer someone who didn't have children, especially when I was still building and getting to know myself. And I didn't want that. I wanted to be the priority prior to there being children involved. right? However, as I'm getting older, I'll be 30 next year, and I'm dating women because I'm polyamorous. It's like, I wouldn't mind if she has children, but that's also because I'm not looking to build a life with her as I am with my male life partner. I'm looking to see how she's compatible with my life that I'm building myself and with my partner. So, yeah, we'll come back to that conversation a little bit later. Actually, I think check out the Becoming a Feminine Woman series, y'all. I haven't even put out the amount of videos that I want to put out. I just have all the ideas and I'm backlogging how many videos I'm going to do. So please subscribe to Life is Rocqi YouTube channel. Subscribe to the It's a Real Podcast YouTube channel. Subscribe. All it takes is a click of a button. What you doing?
That you always see from people who argue the opposite. There's so many people who argue that there is not enough marriageable men and there is a drought of men amongst women. One of those people is William Julius Wilson, who wrote in this book that especially in the black community, there is a shortage of desirable men. But let me tell you the fundamental flaw that Julius Wilson made, according to Brookings Institute and many other scholars who critiqued his work. So what he did was he created a standard for men. He asked women, he said, women, what is the standard that you can't pick 5, but what is the most important thing you want in a man? And women said, we want an employed man. So what he did was he said, okay, how many men are employed? And he compared employed men to all women. And then he said, well, there's less employed men than all women, therefore there's a shortage of men. But there's a fundamental problem. You didn't create a standard for women. All he did was...
I mean, I understand his point. However, there's more women to men. So more women are exploring their sexuality. Like, I'm bisexual and queer, so, but unless that happens, yes, some women will be single forever and never have a male partner, a life partner. And that is something that a lot of women have to accept. And that's going to be a hard acceptance. But, and I find it funny because they just said employed. And you know damn well a lot of women got a lot more standards than employed. They got a certain financial bracket that you got to hit. Not just you have a job. That's not good enough no more. Not for them.
A standard for men. He didn't create a standard for women. So what Brookings Institute did was they asked men, hey men, what is the standard that you have for women? And men said, in America, what men said is that we want them to not have children. We don't want to raise another man's kids. So then Brookings Institution did something really remarkable. They combined both the standards. They said, okay, how many women are employed using the women's standard for men and have no kids using the men's standard for women? And they compared that to how many men are employed and have no kids.
My life partner.
Across every single race of people in America, there was always more men. There was always more employed childless men than employed childless women. So what you see is that a lot of women in today's world, there's so many single mothers. Men say we don't want to raise another man's kids. Especially in the black community, single motherhood rate is through the roof. I'm not even talking about women who are widowed. I'm not talking about women who were married and divorced. I'm talking about never married women having kids. Men are saying we don't want to marry women who already have someone else's kids. But guess what happened? Women don't care. Women don't care.
They don't.
And they keep on popping them out, and then they wonder where all the...
When you have multiple children, all with different daddies, at the end of the day, you gotta have some self-reflection. Come on now. Come with it. And then I'm also seeing this new movement of women who are against birth control, which I understand. I understand that it's chemicals in your body. I get it. And also, I'm not pregnant yet. And how many women have gotten pregnant using herbal remedies, tracking their ovulation. Like, I mean, yes, women have gotten pregnant on birth control if they miss their dates or something like that. Condoms have broken, stuff like that. However, there is a significant higher percentage of not getting pregnant. Okay. Yeah. If you, like, I don't get it. Like, it's your choice if you want to get pregnant or not. Fuck love, fuck lust. Like, do you want to bring life into this world? Are you prepared mentally, emotionally, financially, as far as support system? Are you going to have someone there with you in the house taking care of that child who you can lean on for support when you can take breaks? Like, the fact that so many women have just been willing to have children when they are not ready because God gave us a blessing and all this other shit. Like, that's not fair to the child either. Like, they didn't ask to be brought into this world when you weren't prepared just because you were having sex all willy-nilly. Like, and I'm very sex positive. Have sex. Just be safe about it. If you are not planning to bring a child into this world prior to that sexual activity, then you need to ask yourself some serious questions when you're having sex. And then if you were to get pregnant, you need to ask yourself some serious questions. Just because you were pregnant does not mean you have to keep it. Yes, I am more for abortion than I am for adoption because there are plenty of kids in the foster care system who have not been adopted because more people are obsessed with biological children than they are like adopting someone else's, so just don't get pregnant. Like, it's really simple. It's not even that hard. Like, I'm 29 and it hasn't happened yet. So just and then they just are entitled. Oh, he needs to love me anyway. Yeah, but if I had to go off preferences, why would somebody choose that? Come on now. When there's plenty of childless women. Like, I don't get it.
Men at? Where are all the men at? And then they try to tell men lies. Then they try to spew out lies. They try to say, well, a real man, marries a single mother.
Oh shit, it's an ad. Okay, let me turn it down. But yeah, the denoting of a man and his masculinity and manhood just because he chooses not to be with you is a serious ego trip. Serious entitled ego trip. He doesn't have to choose you. You already made choices for your life. He's very aware of what his are. All right, let me get past these ads. Get your money, roommates. Get your money. All right, let's get back to it.
You're weak. A secure man. That's what they want. They try to shame men into what they don't want. Imagine a guy doing this. Well, a real woman marries a guy without a job. A real woman takes a guy from rock bottom and builds him up. A real woman sees a guy who's broken, loves him with all her heart. You see, men don't do that. But women want to play that game. They want to play that game. And clearly, as the studies show, men do not want to marry single mothers, but unfortunately, especially in the black community, we can't seem to understand that. And the second reason that women today are not marriageable according to male standards is because too many women are overweight. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Offices in Minority Health, black women have the highest rates of obesity in America. They say 4 out of 5 black women are either overweight or obesity. There is so big of an issue, no pun intended, when it comes to the weight. And men have been saying it over and over again. We want fit women.
Yeah, so I'm going to do an episode in my Becoming a Feminine Woman series on my Life is Rocqi YouTube channel about body positivity versus attraction. Because, yeah, some conversations need to be had about that. Some conversations need to be had. On a quick, love yourself, girl. Be comfortable and confident in yourself. And also know, not everybody's going to be attracted to you. And especially like, because I'm a woman dating other women and I'm more sexually attracted to women than I am to men, like, their bodies are a key factor in my attraction. So I'm going to need it to come right. I'm just. You can't like ignore sexual attraction. It's a part of a relationship if you are more sexually inclined. Like if you're asexual, less. But if you want to have sex with your partner, if you prioritize sexual and physical attraction as just a part of your connection, then it's going to matter. So take care of yourself, women. Get in the gym. I hadn't exercised for a decade, but I was cool because I wasn't really gaining weight and it was going to all the right areas. But then it started to sneak up on me and go to areas I ain't want. So guess what? Had to start working out. Because I want my man to be attracted to me and my woman.
Psychology Today did an amazing article where they took cross-cultural studies about men. And they asked men, what do they desire in women across all cultures around the world overweight? Women want a short guy. They're so shallow. About being a shorter guy is that you can't change that. You can't fix that. If you're short, it is what it is. But if you're a woman who's overweight, you can get in your best shape. You can improve that. You can fix that. But so many women don't want to. Most men don't.
What are you doing to become like a good wife for the person who actually is going to choose you? Like, what are you doing? What are you actively doing to become her? And not for yourself. It's literally for your relationship, for somebody else. So what are you doing? And I had to do hella work, not even just physically, like emotionally, I had to do hella work. I'll talk about that more in other episodes. But yeah, I had to do hella work to become a better partner to my partner. Like, that's why I'm not looking for a committed relationship or my other life partner right now. Because I got to get shit together. And it's not fair to him if I'm just going out and dating women saying, the hell with you, I'm going to just focus on being a good partner for them. Like, that's not fair to him. I need to do work. And I have been doing work. Thank God for therapy. And also hella processing. Goodness. And acceptance. That's a big one. Whew.
And I had a friend who made a great point.
All right.
When guys are scrolling through Instagram, the Instagram, men want, the reason why women are not marriageable is because they have no examples. You see, what I realize is that when it comes to men being good husbands and fathers, men don't have any examples, which is why I bring in so many amazing men who are husbands and fathers into the roommates. I share so many books so that men can learn. Because being a great husband and a father does not come natural. But here is the most asinine ideology I've come to hear. So many people believe that women are simply great wives just by being women. Women are born great wives. That's what people think. Oh my God, she's nurturing and she's supportive. This is how we are. It's crazy. You are not like that. You have to be taught that way.
You definitely have to be taught. And I will say some women, especially because, you know, they assume women are good mothers just because we have the ability to produce children. And it's like, I've seen some mothers who are not maternal. Y'all know some. Like, there's not a maternal bone in your body. Nope. So, yeah, it is something you have to learn. It's skills you have to master in a sense. It's strategies. And you're not just born with it. You got to work for it. You got to earn that.
Human beings have to be civilized. We don't come out the womb being perfectly amazing angels, especially not in romantic relationships. You have to learn that. You see, back in the day, women had mothers who were wives and grandmothers who were wives who would teach them. But going back to the single motherhood problem, so many women, unfortunately, grew up in single mom households.
Okay. So my mom and dad were married for 35 years before they divorced. I liked who my mom was as a mother. I didn't like who she was as a wife. And that's solely because they were in an unhealthy relationship. So like I saw aspects of like what I would do for my husband and for my life partner, but I didn't. It was just an unhealthy relationship. So it wasn't something that I could model after. Like, and that was a big thing in my committed life partnership is I had to fucking just deprogram hella shit because I only had unhealthy relationship models. So I had to like figure out what was healthy and then combat all the shit that was ingrained in me. Like examples are crucial. They really are.
They never saw what it was like for a woman to be a great wife, and they never seen it. And so because there are no examples, a lot of women don't know how to navigate in relationships. They don't know how to deal with a man and talk to a man and communicate with a man and inspire a man, not nag a man. And that's something, like I said, as the roommates, we hold the guys accountable. We give them all the tools and resources because we know they haven't learned these things. But like I said, the reason why so many women are not trying to learn these things is because society has convinced them that just because you are born female, you are automatically a great wife, when it's not the case. So
not the case at all. So I'm coming up on time here, so I'm gonna speed through to get to the other reasons. But yeah, that's not the case at all. I forgot why I was pausing it, so I'm gonna just go back.
Every woman find a marriage mentor. Find a woman in a healthy marriage that you can learn from.
Life is
because,
Rocqi.
like I said, you just because you're a woman does not mean you're going to be a good partner. And the fourth reason that women today are no longer marriageable is because women today are too masculine. I talk about this all the time. Imagine there is a dance. So let's say we're going salsa dancing. Usually people want one of two things. Usually people want a competent leader to lead them in the dance, a more masculine person, or they want a willing follower to follow them in the dance, usually a more feminine person. Masculine men want feminine women in the sexual dance of life. That's what they want. But unfortunately,
masculine men want feminine women. And the problem with Black culture currently is that masculine women want masculine men, but masculine men don't want them. So what we gonna do, ladies? We gonna femme it up or what? Now, the points of me in my Becoming a Feminine Woman series is not to go back to a traditional feminine. I don't subscribe to the patriarchy. What I want to look to is a feminine woman of the future. One, of healing, first off, because we was in survival back then. And then two, one who is balanced, one who's able to tap into both her masculine and feminine energies, because both are needed, both are necessary in life and within each and all genders, okay? But yeah, like, they don't want you. So what you gonna do? Complain about it? Or do something about it?
Unfortunately, in today's world, so many women are masculine. So many women want to be in charge. So many women are, I'm woman, hear me roar. And so women have lost the natural femininity that men desire, because women think femininity is weakness.
Yes.
Women think they always do straw man.
If you sleep on your side,
yes. Women definitely think femininity is weakness. And again, we haven't had positive feminine role models. So all we've seen is the negative consequences of feminine women, and the positive more so in career and education wise examples of masculine women. So we haven't seen that positive feminine role model. And again, that's something, especially with the new age future definition, needs to be discovered and explored and then exemplified to other people, especially girls growing into womanhood. Like, yeah, so many issues. All right. Yeah.
Bet you hate your pillow.
I'm sorry.
And this is why.
Let's turn that down and skip that and then come back up.
Feminine, I'm gonna get walked all over. If I'm this, I'm gonna get walked all over.
Now, I will say, like, I definitely have to break down this more. Again, check back to the series. And again, link is in the description below for the Life is Rocqi YouTube channel. But yeah, as far as a man being balanced as well, because just because you're a man does not mean I'm going to follow you. Just because you're a man does not mean you're going to control me either. Like, my life partner doesn't want to control me. He doesn't want to take advantage of me. We co-lead. We decide our individual strengths that determine our roles within our relationship. Like, it's not there's so much more nuance, and it's so much more that needs to be explored.
Advantage of me. He gonna run me like a slave. He wants me to be a slave.
See?
They make all these crazy extremes.
It's not extreme because a lot of men are out there. And I would say there are a lot of mediocre men who are not doing the work to be better husbands, better fathers, better men. And that's who women are experiencing, but those are not all men. There are some men, like my life partner, who was like, I want to be a good father and a good husband. So what am I going to have to do in order to earn that? What skills, what strategies, what am I going to have to learn in order to be that? And then also checking in with me and what I wanted to see, make sure he is. And again, areas of improvement, but for the most part, he's more than I could have ever asked for. I'm gonna skip to the
to earn my respect,
last one.
from two who's gonna willing to respect women today are no longer marriageable is because there's too much baggage. I recently did a poll on YouTube, and I asked men, which one would you rather choose? A woman that was too immature or a woman who had too much baggage? I think over 20,000 people voted in that poll, and 77% of men said we would rather take someone who's too immature than someone who has too much baggage. The sad thing about so many girls today is they
Bag lady, you gon' hurt your back. Hey!
have so much baggage. You see, that's the thing people don't talk about when it comes to hot girl summer. When you live in your hot girl summer, best life now, having sex with all types of guys, going into different kinds of relationships, those things affect you. You bring baggage, you bring trauma, you bring issues.
Okay, what we're not going to do is just say that all women are emotional in their sexual experiences, because some women have the ability to cut that shit off and just enjoy the pleasure. Hello. However, them relationships or them situationships, that could definitely get that baggage, especially if you don't go to therapy and do your work. Heal, sisters, heal. Okay? Don't bring your last relationship or previous relationships or your parents' relationship into your present relationship. That man is not them. He's not your daddy. He is not your ex. He is him. So show up presently and do your work. All right, I think I'm gonna end it there because I try to keep these to 1/2 an hour. So thank you so much for watching Rocqi's Reactions with Rocqi from the It's So Real podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the It's So Real podcast YouTube channel. Again, Rocqi's Reactions is a playlist on our YouTube channel, as well as plenty of our video clips of our podcast episodes. And we are also starting to put our full podcast video on this channel, so make sure you subscribe, click that notification bell so you know when I go live. Pop over to my Life is Rocqi YouTube channel to check out the Becoming a Feminine Woman series, because these are definitely going to correlate. Those ones I'm not reacting, I'm just talking, whereas these ones are specifically reactions, because the conversations are being had and I would like to explore the content of other people's perspectives on the It's a Real podcast. But on my channel, that's when I'm exploring just my thoughts about these different concepts. So definitely subscribe to both. And question yourself. Set the ego to the side and question yourself. Do you want a man or not? If you don't, cool. Stop complaining. Be happy and single. It's possible. But if you want a man, y'all gonna have to grow. I don't know what to tell you. I don't understand this lack of commitment to growth. You're growing regardless. So might as well just ease it on up and agree with it. Embrace it. I don't get it. I mean, yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's painful. However, on the other side of that, you didn't learn some things. This was a fun one. Shout out to the Roommates podcast and their YouTube channel. Again, I'll put the link to this video that I'm reacting to in the description below. Make sure you keep watching and subscribing and sharing this conversation. We have work to do, Black America. We got work to do. So we need to have these conversations and get work done. Okay? Because people are not doing the work. They're not even willing to have the conversation. They're triggered by the title and don't even watch the whole video. All right, I'm out. Peace and love.